Hello, welcome to ASL Top Plays, Week 2 of playoffs, aka the Semifinals, with me, TCP, and first thing we got is me versus Dave. So, this episode of Top Plays, I think I'm going to be featuring every single battle that happened this week, at least once. So, first thing I want to talk about is me versus Dave, because this is probably the battle I know most about. So, there was a little bit of unfortunate hacks that happened that secured this game in my favor. But one thing that I think really secured this game in my favor was this play of getting in Magneton on the Klefki. So, Klefki's, its leftovers have been revealed to me, so I know it can't switch out. So, I'm able to trap it. And the reason why this is so important, is because my Mega Latios, if it wants to Draco, it can't really Draco when Klefki around. Or Psychic, really. Psyshock. Psyshock can put in work around when Klefki is gone, and Draco can put in a lot of work when Klefki is gone. And really, pretty much the main factor of getting Mega Latios to put in work, even if it's toxic, is to get Mega Klefki out of the way. Another thing that needs to happen is I need to get Klefki out of the way for my Combine Florges to put in work. Because Klefki is the only thing really on this team that wants to take on a Combine Florges. So, once that's out of the way, it really opens up the door for two of my big threats two win cons of mine to win this potentially win the game. And getting out of Klefki out of the way was huge for this battle, I think. Moving on, we got Vish versus Cody. And before I start talking about what's happening, first I want to mention that what Vish did very nicely earlier in this game is he took down the Noivern in the Lycanroc first. So that is very important to how this game turns out. Because once Tangrowth comes in, it is able to do what it wants, whenever it wants, because it's a cursed Tangrowth. Now really the only thing that Cody can really do to stop it is special attacks, maybe like a Specs Lando, or like Toxic. But like the only thing that would have Toxic probably is Ferrothorn, and it already switched out, so it probably does not have Toxic. And thus, Ferrothorn, or Tangrowth, can't die to anything left on Kim Cody's team. The only thing that Cody can try to do is potentially flinch his way through with Serene Grace, but it's not happening. This thing essentially wins on its own. Cody cannot do anything to kill this Tangrowth. He tries a lot with Sawsbuck, but there's nothing that this Ferrothorn can do, nothing that Sawsbuck can do, not even anything that Mega Medicham can do. And Lando is physical, so it can't do anything either. So, nice set from Vish, and nice taking down the Noivern and taking down the Incineroar. Not even... Curse is something that he hasn't brought this whole season, so that surprise factor in this late of playoffs is really something that can catch your opponent off guard and provide a win condition that's a lot easier than you might expect. So moving on, we have Milan versus Hutch. This one I have two clips, simply because I guess I want to hide the freeze. The first thing he does is get up Rocks, which is really important, because what Rocks does for Bisharp is it lures in Golbat or Moltres or Garchomp. So if Moltres or Golbat comes in, he knows that he's going to defog and he's going to get a free switch into either Latios, Mega Lopunny, or anything he really wants. Or even State could stay in and knock off, which is something he wouldn't do because later we found out that he was Stealth, or he was Scarf. But even defogging on Bisharp is super scary because it has Defiant. So there's a good chance that he's not going to defog and that he's going to go into something else. So Stealth Rocks is really nice to get up in this certain situation because Milan has two mons that are incredibly weak to Rocks. So he goes into Quagsire, and the big play that he makes here is he doubles into Togekiss to scout for the Tectonic Rage. So this double does two things for Hutch. One, it scouts for the Dragonium Z, and two, it scouts for the Groundium Z. And three, it covers most doubles. For instance, Milan showed that he would switch in Licky Tongue into Quagsire, and he could also potentially switch in Greninja if he has Grass Knot. So Togekiss is a really nice mid-ground play that really ends up punishing Milan in this situation. Moving on, I wanted to talk about a checkmate situation that Hutch got Milan into. So right now with Rocks Up, this is after the unfortunate freeze. With Rocks Up, everything that would switch in dies to 2 returns, or a return into a high jump kick, or any of that. So he has his Licky Tongue in. He goes for the Protect, just in case Lopunny goes for the goes for the high jump kick. This is really Milan's play to really get Hutch, and this is kind of a 50-50, but it's a 50-50 that Hutch really doesn't have to risk because his rocks are out. So he goes for the high jump kick. So if Hutch or Milan decides to bring in Moltres or Golbat, I doubt Golbat can live a rocks into high jump kick into a turn. It could, because it's very bulky defensively, but I highly doubt it because it was at not full, I don't think. So Hutch is able to take down one Mon, and with that Mon being Licky, that is huge opening for Hutch because Licky is a huge Spadef answer. So now things like Latias can start going in, Rotom Heat can start going in a lot easier, and Togekiss can go in a lot easier against this team. So that was a really nice situation for Hutch to get in. Unfortunately, it was on the back of a freeze, but that's what happens in Mons. And this was just a really nice situation that I would like to show off. Moving on, we have TJ versus Brad, turn 1 play. I know. And it's the prediction of Electivire, and he goes for the Heat Wave. So the reason why I wanted to highlight this play, even though it's a turn 1 play, even though it's like a kind of simple prediction that didn't even do half to Electivire, this is very good for Chip in the late game. Because look at TJ's team and look at Zapdos. Zapdos goes in against everything with T-Bolt except for Electivire. So once Electivire goes down, anytime Zapdos comes in on like Suicune or Mandibuzz or Uxie, or maybe even Gallade, I don't think it would be coming on Gallade, it can T-Bolt and essentially secure itself a kill. So this is the start of a huge move for Brad to potentially just take over this game. Moving on, our last replay is going to be talking about this Reuniclus. So this is a late game scenario. Apparently TJ misclicked there. There is no point to yawn this Reuniclus at the position it is at. But Reuniclus is starting to set up here. It's shown it has Trick Room, it shows it has Recover, and I'm pretty sure he's shown Shadow Ball already. But his last move is Shadow Ball. So really, the only thing TJ can do at this point is potentially, like, nothing. Really. He has to hope for, like, 20 crits, or he has to hope for no Spadef drops, and he has to try to, like, EP stall, or, like, some weird convoluted method. He has no good way of killing this Milotic. And really, looking at his team, I don't think even if Suicune was alive, if he could do it either. So, this Reuniclus set is, like, so powerful against TJ right now. Because he really can't do anything. Like, he's taking 36%. One Spadef drop, he's starting to take 50%. One more Spadef drop, he's starting to lose health after Roost. So, with Shadow Ball being a 20% drop rate, this is, like, a terrible situation to be in. So I'm gonna speed this up because it does take a while for a split F drop to occur. But what TJ decides to do is he decides to go into Gallade, and what he could have done here is he could have tried to go back into Mandibuzz and try to long on it as much as he can. It would take a lot of roost, but if this Reuniclus runs out of Shadow Balls, it is set up fodder. But he decides to go a more kind of quick, noble route kind of thing. So he decides to sack Gallade with the X-Scissor. He decides to sack Archeops with the Crunch. And he's going to finally take out this Reuniclus. But he sacrificed so much of his offensive pressure, and Brad is just so ahead in Mons that he really can't do much to turn this game around. So that's the end of our final top plays. This might be the last ever top plays. I'm not sure. Things are changing right now in the ASL YouTube team. I'm not sure where it's going in the foreseeable future, but do expect changes. We might do some sort of update thing during the off season, maybe not. But ASL YouTube channel is not dead. I can assure you that. There will be something happening. I'm not sure what, but it is not dead. There is an effort. There is a resistance now that Hutch is gone. The resistance is here. But, so that's something to look forward to. But anyways, if this is the last Top Plays video, it's been great. It's been a huge ride. This is a project that I can look back on, see that I finished with such proudness in my heart. Anyways, this is it from me, TCP. Hello, editing TCP here. So, this is the end of the video. I know I may have messed up on this ending because it ends with me saying TCP, but this is the end, the real end. By the way, I made a mistake. It's not Lycanroc, it's Incineroar. Gosh, I'm so bad. But this is the end of the video with me, TCP. Goodbye.